What if I told you that one aircraft, a single machine, could rule the skies as a fighter and dominate the battlefield as a bomber? A jet so powerful that it can take on enemy fighters at supersonic speeds, and at the same time, drop precision-guided bombs on targets hundreds of miles away all in one mission. This isn't science fiction. This is the McDonnell Douglas F15E Strike Eagle. Born out of the legendary F-15 air superiority fighter, the Strike Eagle is not just a jet, it's a story of evolution, innovation, and unmatched combat performance. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why the F-15E became the backbone of US air power for decades and why it's still feared around the world today. Chapter 1: The Birth of a Legend. To truly understand the Strike Eagle, we first need to rewind to the 1970s. The US Air Force had a problem. They needed a fighter that could dominate the skies, something that could counter the Soviet Union's fast and powerful jets like the MiG-25. The result was the F-15 Eagle, an aircraft designed with one clear philosophy: not a pound for air-to-ground. That meant the original F-15 was built exclusively for air superiority. Its only job was to hunt and destroy enemy aircraft. But by the 1980s, military strategy was shifting. The Air Force didn't just need a jet that could win dogfights, they needed a machine that could strike deep into enemy territory, carry heavy bomb loads, and still defend itself like a fighter. Thus, the F-15E Strike Eagle was born. This new jet wasn't just an eagle anymore. It was an eagle with claws. Chapter 2: Design Evolution. What makes it different? At first glance, the Strike Eagle looks very similar to the classic F-15. But look closely, and you'll notice the upgrades that make it a true multi-role strike fighter. 1. Dual cockpit. Unlike the single-seat F-15C, the Strike Eagle has two seats. The pilot in the front, focused on flying and fighting. The Weapon Systems Officer, WSO, in the back, controlling sensors, targeting, and weapon systems. This teamwork makes the Strike Eagle far more effective in complex strike missions. 2. Conformal fuel tanks, CFTs. These are sleek, fuel-carrying pods that hug the sides of the jet's fuselage. Unlike bulky drop tanks, CFTs don't take up hardpoints, meaning the jet can carry more weapons while still having extended range. They give the F-15E the ability to strike deep into enemy territory without refueling. 3. Stronger airframe. The Strike Eagle's structure was reinforced to handle heavier payloads and the stress of low-altitude, high-speed flight. This isn't just a dogfighter, it's a bomber with fighter DNA. 4. Advanced avionics. The jet is packed with sophisticated radar and targeting systems, like the APG-70 radar and later upgrades to AESA radars. These allow it to detect ground and air targets simultaneously, an ability very few jets of its time could manage. Chapter 3: Performance that inspires fear. Now let's talk about what really makes the Strike Eagle a beast: the raw performance. Engines: 2 Pratt & Whitney F100PW229 afterburning turbofans. Thrust: over 58,000 pounds of thrust combined. Top speed: Mach 2.5, more than 1,650 miles per hour. Range: with CFTs and external tanks, it can fly over 2,400 miles without refueling. Ceiling: around 60,000 feet. That means the F-15E can outclimb, outrun, and outlast most aircraft in the sky. And despite its size, the Strike Eagle is incredibly agile, able to dogfight with the best while still carrying a massive arsenal. Chapter 4: Weapons, a flying arsenal. So what kind of firepower does this jet bring to the table? The Strike Eagle can carry over 23,000 pounds of weapons. That's like carrying the weight of a school bus and bombs. Air-to-air arsenal. AIM-7 Sparrow. AIM-120 AMRAAM. AIM-9 Sidewinder. This means it can defend itself against enemy fighters with deadly precision. Air-to-ground arsenal. GBU-10 and 12 Paveway laser-guided bombs. JDAM, Joint Direct Attack Munition, for all-weather precision strikes. AGM-65 Maverick missiles. Cluster bombs and more. And let's not forget its built-in M61 Vulcan 20mm cannon, capable of firing 6,000 rounds per minute. Chapter 5, Combat Record-Proof in Battle. A jet can look great on paper, but what really matters is how it performs in combat. The F-15E has been battle-tested in multiple conflicts. Gulf War, 1991 Strike Eagles destroyed Scud missile sites, command centers, and even Iraqi aircraft on the ground. They flew some of the most dangerous deep strike missions of the war. Operation Enduring Freedom, Afghanistan, 2001 they provided precision strikes against Taliban targets, proving their endurance in long missions. Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2003 Strike Eagles hunted down Saddam Hussein's forces with devastating efficiency. In fact, the Strike Eagle has been so reliable that it became the workhorse of U.S. Air Force strike missions for over 30 years. Chapter 6, Technology that sets it apart. The Strike Eagle isn't just muscle, it's brains, too. It uses targeting pods like the Lantern and later Sniper XR, giving it the ability to identify and engage targets even at night or in bad weather. Its radar can track both air and ground threats at the same time, and with data link technology, it can share target information with other aircraft. This makes the F-15E not just a lone wolf, but a team player in modern networked warfare. Chapter 7, Upgrades and the Future. Even though the F-15E first flew in the 1980s, it hasn't stood still. Over the years, it's been upgraded with AESAs, active electronically scanned array radars, advanced electronic warfare suites, newer precision-guided weapons, improved engines. And now, its successor the F-15E Eagle II is carrying forward the legacy with even more modern capabilities. But make no mistake, the F-15E Strike Eagle is still fully combat capable, and will likely remain in service for years to come. Chapter 8, The Global Legacy. The Strike Eagle didn't just serve the U.S. Air Force. Variants of the F-15E have been exported to countries like Saudi Arabia, F-15SA, Qatar, F-15QA, South Korea, F-15K Slam Eagle, Singapore, F-15SG. Each version is tailored with unique avionics and weapons, making the Strike Eagle a truly global force. Chapter 9, Why It Still Matters. In a world where stealth fighters like the F-22 and F-35 dominate headlines, you might wonder, why does the F-15E still matter? The answer is simple: reliability, versatility, and sheer firepower. The F-15E may not be stealthy, but it can carry more weapons, fly farther, and stay in the fight longer than most modern jets. It's the heavyweight champion of the skies, able to take on missions that stealth jets simply weren't designed for. The McDonnell Douglas F15E Strike Eagle is more than just a jet, it's a symbol of air power evolution. From dogfighting MiGs to precision striking terrorist hideouts, it has done it all. It's the fighter that became a bomber, and the bomber that could still outfight fighters. Even today, decades after its first flight, the Strike Eagle remains a cornerstone of U.S. and Allied air power. Because when you combine speed, range, firepower, and technology into one aircraft, you don't just build a jet. You build a legend. This is the F-15E Strike Eagle, the eagle that strikes back.